What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now, I am super duper excited because it has been way too long since I last did a contact lens review video. However, ColorCL has pulled through and they're actually going to be releasing a new collection. It's called the Siesta Black Monthly Edition, and there's actually a brown series and a gray series. It's a very unique product, so I figured that I would go ahead and show them off to you today. Now, they're actually going to be 5 sets of contacts in one package. Each of these different blisters is going to contain a different style, and they will all last a month from opening. So you'll get to try out a plethora of different looks for your eyes. So let's go ahead and jump on in. So as channel tradition dictates, I'm going to go ahead and drop in a close-up of my naked brown eyes while I read you the stats. The base curve is 8.5 millimeters, the diameter is 14.0 millimeters. They're available at prescription for no additional cost, and each blister will last you for 1 month once it's been opened. Now, each series is going to cost you $25. However, if you decide to pick them up between February 8th and February 22nd, ColorCL is actually running a bit of a launch sale where you can pick them up for $15 each. However, there is one thing that I want to point out. All of these colors, except for one, is currently available as individuals on their site. So if you've absolutely fallen in love with maybe 1 or 2 colors, you can actually pick them up for $15 a piece. The difference being that each of those individuals will actually last you for 6 months each, while each of the individual blisters here will only last you for 1 month. So if you're looking for something to commit to because you've fallen in love with that color, go ahead and pick up the individuals, but if you want a sampler to play around and test your style, go ahead and pick up the series. Alrighty, before we take a look at each individual color, I figured that we should have a chat about the construction of the 3 different styles of Siesta Black contacts that we're going to be finding in both series. Starting things off, we have the Creamy. Now, this one is definitely an eye catcher. It has no limbal ring whatsoever, and it has these striations that help it blend in with the pupil. These make a massive impact, and if you're looking for a dupe for the Somatica Hydrocores that'll cost you about 95 bucks, this is definitely going to be the style for you. Next one is the Cloud series, and these ones are super duper close to my heart. The gray and brown, of course, in each respective series are almost unclockable on the eye, but definitely kind of enhance them in this amazing way. They do have a limbal ring, and the patterning on them just is a beautiful blend. Last but not least is the contact you will catch me in the most in all of my Instagram photos, and these are the Romance series. They have a thin limbal ring that is kind of like flecked with an accent color and merges into a really nice strong central color. These ones are so eye-catching, however, they are still grounded by that amazing limbal ring. Definitely one of my favorites, and if you see me in a photo, I'm probably wearing those. So kicking things off, we actually have my least favorite color, which are the Creamy Browns. Now when you take a look at them in the blister, they're this crazy orange color. However, when you slip them into your eyes, they blend in together to make this kind of like caramel cream or this honey cream, which is absolutely gorgeous. However, I specifically have a little problem, and I gotta underline the word little because my eyeballs themselves are a little bit on the small side. So the contact lens doesn't just lay over the tinted portion of my eye, but also the whites, which kind of create this like orange halo around my eye, which isn't necessarily the most attractive. And as all of you guys know out there who've been watching these videos long enough, I do tend to get red and veiny just naturally. So that blending in with the red veins isn't necessarily the greatest look for me. However, if you have normal sized human eyes, these will work amazingly for you if you want something very eye-catching. Moving along, we have Cloud Brown. Now, these are definitely some of my favorite, and I think are super duper underrated. And I'm sure that there's some of you out there that are like, I can't even tell that you have them in your eyes. What's the point? That's the entire point right there. Sometimes you don't want to be clocked for your contacts. You don't want them to enter the room before you do, but you do want people to think you have pretty eyes. And that's exactly what I love the Cloud series for. Now, when you actually take a look at these in the blister, they're gonna have like a fairly thick limbal ring, and it's just gonna look like some kind of like cloudy like speckles and striations into the pupil. It all blends in absolutely beautifully, and as compared to my normal eyes, these are actually pretty cool and slightly brighter. So instead of warm brown eyes, now I have these kind of like ash browns with a nice like limbal ring that blends into my own. It feels very natural, but just kicked up another level. See, look, I'm very adamant about you guys liking the things that I like. They do look different from my normal brown eyes, I swear they do. Okay, so me and Romance Brown haven't necessarily always seen eye to eye. However, after some outstanding performances over on my Instagram, I had to learn how to forgive. Now, I'm sure that some of you guys are like, what's wrong with these contacts? Well, when it comes down to the construction, it's got this kind of like warm brown limbal ring that's flecked with gold bits, and it kind of merges into this center bit, which is this beautiful, creamy, almost gray brown. It's absolutely gorgeous. However, the warmth in that limbal ring is just a tad too warm for me. And as I stated earlier, I do tend to get red and veiny just as the day progresses. I think it's cause I'm a dry ass bitch. I'm not 100% sure exactly what it is, but it happens, and it doesn't always work well with the warmth in the limbal ring. However, let me tell you, these things photograph so freaking beautifully that I'm like, I will forgive, you do look gorgeous, I'm just bitter and petty, so I'm gonna move on. Next up, we have the magical, highly rated, fan favorite, infamous Romance Indias. And let me tell you right now, I've watched so many review videos, and it doesn't matter who's wearing them, whether they're olive skin tone, peachier skin tone, lighter skin tone, darker skin tone, they just look amazing on everybody, which is crazy because when you look at them in the blister, you're like, what is going on? They have this kind of like darker teal indigo color as their limbal ring, and it's got flecks of gold accented with that, and then it blends into this kind of like beautiful hazel tone. And I don't know what it is, but the voodoo that they put into this contact is absolutely beautiful. It's definitely one of the ones that you've seen featured on my Instagram a ton because it works so well with so many different outfit colors as well. So I'm just kind of blown away, and these are definitely fantastic to purchase individually or within the brown series. And last but not least is the newest addition to the Romance collection, and also my new bae, Romance Cedar. Now, I didn't think that I was gonna love anything more than my Romance Grays or my Romance Indias. However, Cedar is definitely giving those two a run for their money. When it comes down to construction, the limbal ring itself is kind of like best described as a navy green? Is that a thing? Well, it's like as dark as like a navy blue, and it does have a little bit of blue in it, but it is more predominantly green. Maybe a deep dark cedar? I don't know. Now that is actually flecked with another accent color, which is a cool gray, but you can't really tell that it's there so much because the center color is this really interesting like gray brown, gray green tone. It's really hard to tell, and one of those colors that kind of changes depending on what light you're in, and y'all know that I absolutely love that. The thing that I think is the most highlighted for me when it comes to this tone is that the Romance series tends to be very bright. Now, this does have a bit of a pop in it, but it's not as in your face. The way I like to explain it is it's kind of like the older brother of Romance India. You know, you're doing some after school work with Romance India, then all of a sudden, Romance Cedar comes walking in the room and you're like, ooh, he's from college. Has he been backpacking in Europe or something? He's kind of mysterious, and I like him. That's exactly how it feels when I'm thinking of Romance Cedar as compared to the rest of the set. And you guys know that I really like the cloud browns, so this kind of has that depth of feeling in it, but it still also has a little bit of a pop from the Romance series. I think it's absolutely great. The only thing about it that I do feel kind of icky about is the fact that this is the only color that is not available as an individual currently. So far, it's exclusive to the brown series in the Siesta Black monthly edition. So hopefully in the future, Siesta ColorCL and Siesta Black series will actually introduce them as individuals that you can purchase, so they'll last you 6 months a pop. Alrighty, that about does it for my review on the brown series, and just in case you guys were wondering, I did go ahead and compare the boxed versions to the ones that were individual. So I'll actually go ahead and slip in a clip of Romance India individuals versus Romance India from the box set, and you'll see they're exactly the same. So if you guys are at all curious about picking these up, head on over to ColorCL.com. Feel free to use code ROB10 to go ahead and get 10% off of your purchase. Go ahead and peruse and browse. There are a lot of great series there just in case you did want to check them out. If I'm going to recommend anything though to pick up for individuals from this set alone, Romance Brown, Cloud Brown, Romance India, and if they ever get around to it, Romance Cedar is gonna be a must. So that about does it for me for now, and as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye! And please, ColorCL, make the Romance Cedars and individuals. I need them for my whole life.